All right, day 27, and this is an interesting re-envisioning of this project. I left day 26 with some mixed emotions on how the process was going over the last week. What I decided to do to really take a step back, I took a week off where I was able to really take in the first 26, or I guess it would have been 27 days, to see what the wins were and any common themes that were coming forward as I was walking through this or working through this project. So in that week, the realization that came forward is that the way in which the project was structured is what was causing the problem in the first place. Now, let me dig into that. In the form and function of this, the first part of the video was always outlining the tasks for the day and then outlining the obstacles. And what seemed to happen is when I got to the end of the day, I revisited the obstacles, and what the realization is they were almost always the same. The lessons coming out of the obstacle portion from the start of the day really wasn't valuable information that I was capturing. And what I've decided to do as I move forward in this project is starting the day off with outlining what the tasks are for the day, but instead of then outlining the potential obstacles, thinking more of using that section of it to set intentions for the day. So my thought would be, as I go through this project, setting an intention and then also thinking, what is the lesson of the day that I'm trying to learn? What is in the work that I'm doing, what is my takeaway from that day? What can I do that will improve not only the way I'm working, but also how I'm feeling? So that's the main shift. When I look at day 27, which I'm calling the reset, here's how I have the day structured. Task 1 is to build in a lesson of the day, a theme. So basically restructuring the format of these videos. So what I'm wanting to do is spend a little bit of time in this space of thinking, what is the form and function of these videos? What is the format I'm going to use as I move forward? And then the second thing I have on the to-do list here is work on the pitch package for, I want to pitch some TV show ideas. So I'm going to spend some time in that space. The day's going to be a little bit broken up. I've got a lunch meeting, so I need to work for a couple hours in the morning, go do that, and then jump back into work for a couple hours before Em gets home. Now, the theme for today, or the intention that I'm setting for today, what I want to do based on these tasks is, when I go in today thinking from the angle of dreaming big and enjoying the process. So as I set forward into my work today, those are going to be the two main intentions I'm going to carry forward with me. So when I think of dream big and enjoy the process, what does that mean? And there are a few ways to look at this. For me, it's a scenario of not using negative self-talk to talk down those big dreams you have, for that vision you have for the future and what you're aiming towards. If there were no obstacles in the way of having to worry about paying bills or any of that, what is that thing you would design? And what is that direction you would take your life if you had no obstacles in your way? So that's going to be the intent for today, is taking that little tiny message there, that intention, and not putting any barriers or the fear mindset in my head as I go forward through this. And then the second part of it is just with the idea of dreaming big, is enjoying the process. So thinking about in how I approach this is not feeling stressed if I'm stuck, is like, what can I do that's fun, that will push this task or project forward? So that's kind of the thoughts at the top of the day, and as I go through the day and reflect back on today, we'll see kind of where I land with those perspectives. All right, so end of day 27, and when it came to the tasks today, I was able to get both completed, and was able to put in some thought into the the theme for the day, or think more about my intentions that I set for today. And with that, it was to dream big and enjoy the process. And what this process made me think is a little bit about my limiting beliefs when it comes to how I approach my life and work. Things that get in the way when I'm approaching how I live my life. And the one is thinking of just the idea of not being good enough, feeling like I'm wasting my time, somewhat feeling lost and maybe not worthy of this. And I think this is a common thing that many people feel as you go through your work. And I think that the key for this is just the awareness part, knowing that you're not alone with these feelings and that other people do have these similar feelings. And I kind of then pivoted a little bit into thinking and asking the bigger question of like, what does it mean to dream big? And for me, there were three main things that came out of this. And it's to have a vision beyond limits, thinking bigger than the current scenario you're in, looking at where you want to be or where you want to take your life. And I think we don't spend enough time in this space and thinking about the bigger picture, the why behind the actions we take. Partly in the way my brain works is thinking, and it depends on your belief system when it comes to how we're spending our time here. We're conditioned, obviously, to lead our lives in a specific way, whether it's working a 9 to 5, saving for retirement, and looking forward to that stage in your life. I've always been from the frame of mind being like, why not in the moment create that life that you're excited about, not looking into the future as if only I can just have this, and saving for or fitting into this pigeonhole, because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I think it's finding ways in which to become more present in how you spend your time and creating that life for yourself that lights you up and excites you. I think that that's what we're all seeking when we're kind of approaching, I guess, crafting a life that we're excited about and have an energy that is infectious. The second here in this idea of dreaming big is having the courage and resilience to do the hard thing. As I would say, do the stupid thing. It's so hard to do the hard thing. And I think once you start to do that and build that into your life, you start looking at life in a different way. And I think for me, this is the point with this project in creating the space to have these conversations and thinking in this way of getting out of the weeds of the day-to-day grind of life and asking the bigger questions. And for me, this kind of shows up in this idea of dreaming big, thinking about and being inspired by the decisions you make. The third thing I had on this list was inspiration and purpose, and I think that that's really at the heart of this is what is your purpose? What are you driving towards? And what is it that brings that level of fulfillment in your life and in the small tasks and the small things you do on a daily basis? And I think that that's the thing that's the most important. And then the next part of this that I kind of spent some time thinking about is why it matters. What is it about dreaming big and enjoying the process that is important? And I think for me, it fuels my motivation and it helps me get through the hard moments. It helps me get through the things, the tasks I don't want to do on a daily basis, the things that stress me. It makes me, I guess, I feel motivated when I know getting through the hard thing will lead me to this other life that excites me. Dreaming big also encourages growth, and I think that that's the biggest thing of all is pivoting your mindset from fear mindset to growth mindset. And I know it's so easy to get stuck in the fear mindset, but taking the time to think about, what if you were to reframe your frame of mind? What if you were to think more from a growth perspective and trying to learn something new every day? What would that life look like as you start to stack all these things? And the other thing I think about dreaming big is it sparks innovation. It makes you think a little bit differently than your mind maybe normally thinks. Asking the hard questions, I guess. That's what I guess I'm trying to go with this. And I think this process too of going through this is, as you start to go on this journey of dreaming big and putting that into action, it inherently is going to inspire others. And I think that's what this is all about, is creating a life for yourself that others can look up to, and potentially that action can spark the little bit, or that little extra helper for others to also take action. Because I think that's what all of this is about, is trying to create a culture of change and self-improvement and just doing the hard thing. And I think that's the main takeaway from today is do the hard thing. I think for me, that's my lesson going into tomorrow. So I'm going to leave day 27 here, and we're going to jump into day 28 tomorrow.